lie all the way down, take the arms out. So just drop yourself into the mat. You need to just rock the head side to side. Get comfortable. If you need to fidget or wriggle, try and get that out of your system. Settle into your mat. Settle into your practice. Use the breath. Big breaths. As you take those big breaths, notice the chest rise and fall. Weight down through the back of the shoulders, weight down through the hips, through the backs of the thighs, through the calves, and allow the feet to turn out to the side. So in doing so, really relax through the ankles and through the hips. I just forgot to tape my AirPods in, so I'm going to do that whilst you relax. So taking big deep breaths and push that breath all the way down into the belly, into the sides of the rib cage. So it's not just a shallow breath, it's a nice big expansive breath. Notice the breath start to get a little bit more powerful. It becomes more audible. You can hear your own breath. Starting to really warm the body up. We'll keep the warmth in the body throughout the practice by keeping that breath in and out through the nose, all the way through. So find a rhythm to the breath, using it to build energy, build heat, warmth, and to also avoid the mind from wandering, to keep us in this little zone that we try and cultivate with our practice. This little space for ourselves, especially when we don't have a studio we can get to. And I know sometimes practicing at home can be distracting. We've got stuff going on, maybe kids running around, or we can see things that need doing. So just try and park those to the side and come back to them later. Bring the right knee into the chest, and then bring the left knee into the chest. Hug both knees in. As you pull and squeeze the knees in, see how it feels to let the tailbone lift. Bring that first stretch into the back of the hips. And just rock then side to side. Massage and move through the spine, around the lower back, through the backs of the shoulders. Reaching for the soles of the feet, move into a happy baby. So bending the knees to the side of the body, stretching the legs out. Invite your tailbone to come down towards the ground, so lengthen the tailbone down, a bit more contact with the mat. And as you do that, you should feel more of a stretch around the hips, the backs of the hips and the thighs. Shoulders plug down into your mat, so try not to let the shoulders round up. See if you can keep the shoulders pulling down. And then cross the legs in, rock up to a seated position, placing the hands down on the knees. Take a big inhale, lift the chest forwards, strengthen through the back, pull the shoulder blades down, and then exhale, chin into chest, round through the spine. So as you do that, you're massaging forwards and backwards on the seat bones. So come forwards on your seat bones, tilt forwards through the front of the body, lift the chest up, look up if you'd like to fully stretch through the throat, and then exhale, round out. Take 3 more. Inhale, lift upwards and forwards, pull the shoulders back, feel the collarbones open wide. Exhale, round out. Inhale, forwards. And exhale, round out. Final one, inhale forwards, stretch forwards, lift the chest, lift the heart. And then exhale, rounding through the spine. Really, really stretch the backs of the shoulders. And then come, sit nice and tall. Take the left hand down by the side, reach the right arm up, bend the right elbow, place the right hand over the left ear, and then just guide the head over to the right. Stretch out around the top of the left shoulder. So reach those left fingertips away. Feel that stretch there. Really lengthen through the side of the neck. Quite a deep neural stretch, so bear with it. Take 2 more big breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then release the right hand down. Take the left arm up. Bring the left hand over the right ear. Pull the head over to the left. Reaching those right fingertips away. Pull your waist in. At the same time, try and keep nice and tall through the seat. Don't neglect what's going on in the rest of the spine just because our attention is elsewhere. Try and keep awareness through the whole seat. Opening that out, maybe reaching the fingers further away. And then come back to center. Just place both hands on the knees. Settle the shoulders down. Notice how that feels into both sides of the neck and the upper back. And then reach the arms up towards the sky. Interlace the hands, support the back of the head. So I want you to cup the hands just underneath the base of the skull. Waist draws in, support the spine. Inhale, open the chest, lift the elbows out wide. And then exhale, round in, curling through the upper back, pulling navel in, really stretch and open. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Using the breath to help you move and creating more space with the movements to improve the breath. So the 2 elements working together, synchronizing. 1 more round in. And then sit tall, take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, pull the fingers towards the back of the mat, lift the chest forwards. Feel that stretch across your chest, across your collarbones, pulling the hands back far away from you. And then release the hands to the floor behind you, fingertips point back towards the hips. Release the feet, push the feet down, waist in, lift the hips up to the sky. So tabletop position. Pushing the hips up, stretching your knees away from you. Feel that pull across the front of the shoulder joint. It's quite a lot in the wrist, so if it's too much, take a seat. We'll be out of it in just a moment. Looking to the knees, pull the navel to spine, and then resting the hips to the floor. Cross the legs in front of you. Take the hands to the top of the mat and step back into your downward facing dog. And if it's the first time you've taken a big, long, full stretch today, then just enjoy that length through the backs of the legs, through the upper back, the shoulders. Move as you need to. So if you want to wriggle and pedal through the feet, then do. Bend the knees, bend into the hips, maybe rock the hips from side to side. Give the head a little wriggle and release. Right leg sweeps all the way up, bend the right knee, open that right hip, big long stretch there through the front of the right thigh. And then step the right foot next to the left foot. Same on the left side, inhale, reach that left leg high. Bend the knee, open the hip. And step the left foot next to the right. Rise onto your tiptoes. Staying on your tiptoes as long as you can, walking the feet forwards. If the knees need to bend, that's okay. I want a nice big opening through the soles of the feet. When you come towards the hands, you can rest the heels. Relax the head. If your hands find the floor, turn the palms so they face up. If your hands don't find the floor, maybe it would be more comfortable to hold opposite elbows. And that way you can let the weight of the arms relax. You don't feel so much like you're having to hold the hands in space. From there, let the arms go. Pull the waist in, curl up through the spine. So slow roll up through the spine. Feeling the movement through each section of the spine. There's 33 vertebrae in the back. So I want you to feel if you can roll up between each and every single one of them. Inhale, sweep the arms up nice and tall. Squeeze the legs together, bring the ankles, the knees to connect, interlace the hands, reach that interlace as tall as you can, and stretch the hands over to the right, encourage the hips to the left. So push into your hips, open the left side of the waist, open the left side of the body, the shoulder, and then inhale to center. Exhale, taking the hands to the left, the hips to the right. Big stretch, so really pushing into that side line of the body. Inhale to center. Release the arms, bend the knees, sit to your chair. Waist in. Navel draws in. I want you to imagine front of the body, back of the body, magnetizing towards one another. So you're pulling in from the front and from the back. Reaching the arms away from you. Chin into chest, so the neck is neutral. The shoulders will guide up the back a little. We don't have to completely pull them down. Just don't want you to feel like you're compressing too much around the neck. Squeeze the knees a little more. And then rest the hands down, forward fold. Bow the chin into the chest. Inhale, extend the back, lift forwards again. Open out through the side of the body. Exhale, relax and fold. Twice more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Push the hands down, leading with your left foot. Step back into a downward facing dog. Stretching the soles of the feet. Stretching through the calves, the hamstrings, the hips, and then all the way down the back through the shoulders. One continuous line, one continuous stretch. Pull the waist in. Reach the right leg to the sky, extend that right heel high, keep the right hip facing down to the ground. And then bring the right knee into the chest. Hold that in nice and close. See if you can bring your thigh up to meet the belly. So instead of holding the thigh in space, bring it right in nice and close. Push to the hands, round the upper back. Step your right foot forwards. Lower your left knee to the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then I want you to really think about the alignment of the pelvis. So imagine your pelvis is a big bowl of water. So if you'll let your hips tilt forwards, water's going to come out of the front. If you're sat too far back, water's going to tilt backwards. So we're perfectly level. You can use the waistband of your trousers to think about the top of the bowl. And then keeping that bowl upright, we're going to slowly move into the left thigh. So we don't just drop forwards. We keep the front of the pelvis lifted. We try and resist the temptation to just dive forwards into that left hip. Lifting through the front of the body. Lengthening down through the lower back and through the sacrum. And then rise back up out of that stretch a little. Take the left arm forwards, right arm back. So we actively twist over to the right side. Now really squeeze that left glute. So you're driving that left hip. I want you to stretch the left fingertips further away. Reach the right fingertips further back. Inhale, arms to the sky, look forwards. Exhale, hands to the floor. Straighten your right leg. Pull the right toes back to the face and relax the head in. So there's a stretch from the very base of the skull, down the back, around the right hip, through the back of the right leg. And then if we pull those right toes back to the face, we take it into the sole of the foot as well. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. One more big breath. Exhale, bending into your front knee. Push the hands down. Step the right knee next to the left knee. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips back up to the sky, stretching into your downward dog. Pull the navel in. Let the neck be an extension of the back, so we're not creasing the back of the neck to look forwards, nor is the chin gripping the chest. Gaze should be around about the ankles, the shins, or maybe the knees. Take your left leg up to the sky. Inhale, breath. Exhale, pull that left thigh to touch the belly. So you're bringing it right in, pushing down into the hands, making some space underneath the body. And for those of you that struggle to step the foot forwards, this is step one. So there's got to be enough space underneath your chest for your leg to straighten and come through. Step that left leg to the top of the mat. Lower the back right knee. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. I'll go over that again when we come back to it on the next side. Think about the position of your pelvis, so we're not leaning too far forwards. We're neutral through the pelvis. It's going to feel like we're lengthening the tailbone down. Should be more of an intense stretch through that right hip. And then once we've got that positioning of the pelvis and it's neutral, we can start to move into that right hip. Might not go as far as you'd like. Might not think it's as far as you usually go, but should be a lot more intense around that right thigh. And if we've got a nice stable neutral pelvis, then the position of the rest of our spine has a lot better chance of being aligned. Coming back out of that stretch, take the right arm forwards, left arm back, so we twist and open over the left thigh. Pull the waist in and then twist a bit further. Pull the waist in and then twist a bit further. Come back up, reach the arms to the sky, inhale. Exhale, hands down inside of your left foot and straighten through that left leg. Pull the left toes back to the face. Round the head in. So there's one fluid stretch through the sole of the foot, up the back of the thigh, round the hip, all the way to the base of the neck. I want you to imagine there was a hose pipe running all the way down the back of the leg, up around the hip and along the spine to the base of the neck. If we kinked the hose pipe at the neck, so if we look up and kink the neck forwards, we break that chain, we stop the flow of water, or we stop the stretch. So I want you to think about that when we're trying to stretch a long line of the body. Are we doing anything to disrupt the stretch, or are we keeping it all fluid? And breathe. Coming forwards, bending into that front knee. Step the left knee back next to the right knee. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up to the sky, stretching into your downward dog. I'm going to play with this 3 times. Chin right into the chest. Upper back rolls forwards. Come into your plank. Hold that plank position. Waist in. Obliques pulling in from the side. And then lifting the hips back up to the sky. So forwards and back twice more. Chin to chest. Pull forwards from the backs of the shoulder blades, round through the upper back. Waist in. Legs are strong, arms are strong, shoulders are active. Hips lift back up to the sky. Final time. Chin to chest. Round the spine forwards. Long, strong plank. Extend through the crown of the head. So gaze is directly down to the floor, maybe just in front of the hands. And then lift the hips to the sky. Breathe in and breathe out. Take your right leg up. Reach that right heel nice and high. Pull the right knee into the chest. Step your right foot forwards. Inhale, reaching up, high lunge. So lift the arms up. And your shoulders will lift. That's okay, like I said before, when we're in our chair, but we just don't want them to be crushing around the side of the neck. So they can glide up the back. That's okay. We don't have to force them down, but just don't squash the side of the neck. Opening through that left thigh. Bring your hands down. Just notice whether your pelvis is tilting forwards or whether it's tilting back. When you put your hands on your hips, do you feel like those 2 bony prominences are pointing down to the floor, or are they pointing out in front of you? That's what we want to try and achieve. We want them to be working forwards. Reach the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, left arm forwards, right arm back. That active twist once more. Breathe in here. Breathe out, twist a little deeper. And then inhale, arms reach up, look forwards, turn both feet over to the left side of the mat, reach the arms tall, and then hinge at the hips, take it all the way down. Big long stretch through the backs of both legs. Head relaxes in. Just make sure the thighs are working. You're lifting up through the thighs, staying strong, staying active through the front of the legs. Chin into chest. Breathing here. Exhale. Breathing in. And breathing out. Roll up through the spine. Take your time, soften the knees, moving through the spinal sections. Take the hands to the hips, and then turn the right toes to face the top of the mat. Turn so you're on the tiptoes, the ball of the left foot. Keep the hands on the hips, so we're monitoring those hip bones. We don't want to sway too much side to side. Just move the torso forwards over that right thigh and lift the left leg off the floor for your balance. So as you've got the hands on the hips, you can feel, is that left hip opening out to the side, or can we keep that left hip relatively in line with the right hip? Breathe in here. Breathe out 1. Breathe in. Breathe out 2. Inhale, breath. Exhale, 3, rise to standing. Bring that left knee with you. Doesn't matter if you wobble or you fall. And then take the left hand to the inside of the left knee. Just point the fingers. So we're not holding on, we're just pointing the hand away. Because I want us to use the outside of the left hip. Right hand stays on the right hip. Open that left hip out to the side. And prevent your hips from pushing back. So squeeze the glutes on. You're just pointing those left fingers down towards the floor. Keep the chest nice and open. Should be quite strong on the inside of the thigh and the outside of that left hip. Bring the hands into prayer heart center. And then from there, bring your left leg to tree. So either above the knee or below the knee. Lifting through the crown of the head. Remember what I said, don't let the hips fall back, squeeze the glutes on. So we have full extension up through the front of the hips, using those big supportive muscles, reaching up through the crown of the head. So stretching yourself an inch taller. And then step the left foot simply down next to the right foot. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Chin to chest, round the upper back forwards like you're diving into a swim pool. Curl through the upper back, then through the middle back, lower back. Hands down to the ground. Step back with the right foot into your downward facing dog. And stretch it out. Inhale, breath. Exhale, breath. Inhale. Exhale. Rest the knees. Now keep the waist pulling in, practicing our vinyasa. So I don't want you to go any further than 90 degrees in the elbows. So I'm not asking you to go all the way down, just 90 degrees. So magnetize the abdominals into the lower back. Keep the back straight. And then bend the elbows to the side of the waist, only to 90 degrees. And hold. 3, 2, 1. Push back up. Once more. Slowly bending into the side of the body. Waist in. Belly button in. Hold. 2, 1. Push back up. Stretch into your child's pose. Stretch the triceps. Rest the forehead. Really good way to strengthen the backs of the arms. Support the shoulder joints, especially if we spend a lot of the day sat slightly anterior in the shoulder joint. So maybe rounding the shoulders forwards at a laptop, at a desk, or in a car. And then pushing through the hands, rising back to all fours, waist pulls in, toes tuck, lift your hips up to the ceiling, stretching into that V shape, tall, long V shape. Left leg high, inhale, breath. Left knee into chest, exhale, breath. There's got to be space underneath, so you've got to push the hands down and lift the upper back for there to be space to that left foot to step forwards. Does come with time as well, it's mobility in the hips, but that's the first step. Push into the feet, reach the arms up, lift through the chest. Think about the position of your hips, probably needs to slightly lift up at the front. We have a tendency to lean in a little, so just pull up slightly through the front of the pelvis, lift tall through the sides of the waist. Inhale here, exhale, right arm forwards, left arm back, so we're twisting over that left thigh. So we've got to really pull that right hip with us to bring ourselves into that twist. Imagine someone pulling the hands apart like a Mr. Stretch, reaching the arms out. And then inhale back to center, reach up. Exhale, both feet face over to the right side, so adjust your feet. Look strong in the legs, hinging at the hips, fold it down. Hands hold the backs of your ankles, elbows bend as you pull the body down, waist in. So pull navel to spine, lengthen the back of the neck. Imagine the hair being pulled down towards the floor. Back of the neck nice and long. Backs of the legs opening. As you pull more into that forward fold, you might feel that the hips lift and the heels lift to give you more stretch forwards. Knees soften. Hands to hips, roll up through the spine, taking your time, belly in. Carefully, slowly roll up. Left toes face to the top of the mat, turn around so you're on your right toes, you're on the ball of the right foot. Hands on the hips so we can monitor the shift there through the hips. Send the body weight forwards, loading over that left leg. Reach your right leg off the floor. Keep that right hip in line with the left hip. So if I was to look at you with X-ray eyes from the side, I would see directly through both hip bones, through the circular bones at the top of your thigh. I wouldn't see one and the other slightly lifted. They'd both be perfectly in line. 3, 2, 1. Rise to standing. If you wobble, doesn't matter. Join us, bring that right knee into the chest. Right hand comes inside of the right thigh. Fingers point down towards the floor. And then you're not pushing that right leg, you're using the outside of the right hip to guide that right thigh out to the side. So there's a stretch on the inside of the right thigh, and there's activation on the outside of our right hip. Activation that doesn't happen when we're sat down on our bottom not doing anything. So it's good to utilize and wake up those big muscles, stabilize the hips. And then you're going to bring that right foot into your tree, either inside of the thigh or inside of the shin, and hands to prayer. And notice, I know we're thinking a lot about alignment this evening, but notice whether you sway over to the right and the hips stick back. I want you to think, can you bring both hips in one line and keep the hips squeezing forwards? So you'll have to use the big muscles, the back of your hips, to push the hips and the pelvis into a nice tall straight line. Lift an inch taller. Grow an inch taller. And then step the right foot next to the left foot. Just take the arms down by the side, palms face forwards, squeezing through the feet, the ankles, the inner thighs, squeezing the glutes. Shoulders set back, chest forwards, crown of the head lifting nice and tall. Breathe in and breathe out. We'll bring the hands to the side of the rib cage, so just a little lower than the chest and out to the side. Measure the breath, so just take a big inhale, push the rib cage into the hands. And a big exhale, push the rib cage back down and in. Just making sure we're really utilizing all that space for our breath. Big inhale. And big exhale. One more big inhale. And big exhale. Reach the arms up to the sky, stretch the arms up tall. Keep pushing down into the right leg. Kick the left leg out in front of you. Toes draw back to the face. So you're pulling the toes back to the face, really working the front of the left thigh. So working the front of the left thigh hard. So really strengthening there. Pull the waist in. Try not to lean back in the upper body. And then bring the hands to prayer. Kick that left leg all the way back. Keep kicking back, kicking up until the hands come down to the floor. So kick back, kick up, tilt the body forwards, bring the hands down. When the hands find the floor, your left hand comes to the left hip. Open the left hip to the left side of the room. So your toes face over to the left. And I want you to lift that left leg a little higher. So we recruit, again, those muscles on the outside of the hip. Kick your left leg back as high and as far away from the body as you can. Opening the chest to the left side of the room, using the right hand for support. Bending that right knee, slowly bending. Take the left foot to the back of the mat. Carefully, slowly come up, open warrior two. Find a comfortable warrior two. Wriggle through the shoulders, release through the upper back, and then flip your right palm. Inhale, reach up to the sky, open the chest. Exhale, hands come down, all the way to the top of the mat. Step the right foot back and stretch it out. Big breath in, full breath out. Big breath in, full breath out. Knees bend. Walk your feet to the hands so that we can roll up through the spine, squeezing the feet and the ankles together, squeezing the knees together, connecting through the inner thighs. Reaching the arms up nice and tall, and then pushing into the left foot, kicking the right leg out in front of you. So now working the muscles on the front of the right thigh, and it's easy to lean back, but that's a lot of compression in your lower back. So pull yourself upright. You'll probably feel like you're further forwards than upright, but you won't be. Trust me, I think. And then hands to prayer. Right leg goes back. And as the right leg goes back, it gets higher and higher, and your upper body tilts further forwards and further down, 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 hands to the floor. Right hand, right hip, open that right hip to the right side of the room, kick your right leg back, lift that right leg higher. Use the big muscles, kicking out through your back foot. Breathing in, breathing out. If you wobble, just come back in, it's okay. And then slowly bending that left knee. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Right foot to the back of the mat. Windmill open to your warrior two. Stretch it out. Reach wider. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reach up, open the chest. And then exhale, hands come all the way down to the mat. Step back into your downward facing dog. And then we'll rest the knees, point the toes, stretch back into a child's pose. Take a well-deserved rest. Massage the forehead from side to side and lengthen across the upper back, down through the spine. Breathe here. Pushing into the hands, rising up to all fours. Now I'm going to try and talk you through this in the hope that it works. We're thinking about strengthening the front of the shoulders and the upper abdominals. So normally we'd come into a puppy stretch, we'd have the hips where they are above the knees, we'd reach the arms forwards and we'd simply drop into the chest. I don't want us to drop, I want us to hold ourselves here, but make it a strengthening exercise. So your knees and hips stay in line. So start there, hips above knees. Then walk the arms out until you feel like you're on pretty maximum stretch. Your temptation is to drop into the chest and relax the exercise. I want us to do the opposite. So push into the hands and almost round into the upper back. So you're pulling the waist in and you're strong in the front of the shoulders. If you feel like you can reach the hands a little further forwards, you can make it a little harder. So pulling the navel to spine, pushing into the back of the shoulders, keeping the ears in line with the biceps. We'll just hold it for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Now rest the forearms and come all the way forwards, lying on your front. Lift the chest. So pushing the forearms down, stretching out the front of the body, pointing the toes back, stretching the toes back, squeeze the glutes, and then just lift the toes and the ankles off the floor. So it's a little bit stronger through the back of the legs. But I want you to make sure you're squeezing the bottom as you try and lift the toes off the floor. Hold it here for 5. You should feel the muscles in the back working as you try and pull the shoulders back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest the feet. Make a pillow with the hands. Rest the forehead. Shake the hips. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay. And then take the knees a little bit wider apart so your legs are stretched out wider. Bend your knees and kick your heels together. Kicking the heels together and then squeezing the heels together. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Lift your thighs off the floor. So as you do that, you recruit the muscles in the backs of the legs and the glutes, trying to kick those heels up towards the sky. And at the same time, I want you to lift the chest. So it's like you're about to jump out of a plane, you're skydiving, your knees are lifting, your feet are pushing up to the ceiling, shoulders are lifting back. It's really strong in the back of the body. Just going to hold it for 3, 2, 1, and rest. Head to the back of the hands, hips down, legs reach out, and let that release. And breathing in and breathing out. One more breath. And let it go. Push to the hands. Come all the way up to all fours. Tuck the toes. Stretch back into downward dog. Fill that space, and then I want you to make your down dog a little shorter. So walk your feet in or your hands in, so you're not quite on full stretch in your downward dog. Bring your right hand off the floor, thread it underneath the body, and see if you can reach for the left ankle. Pull your head underneath the left arm. So there's a nice easy twist through the spine. And then swap. Push the right hand down, thread the left arm under, reach for the right ankle, pull yourself through into that twist. And then place both hands down, drop the knees to the floor, cross the shins one over the other, and just take a seat. Cross the legs there in your seat. Sit up tall, reach the arms out wide, take a big inhale breath. And then exhale breath, bring the hands in front, take the right arm underneath the left and eagle wrap the arms. Just want us to reach the hands up to the sky. Stretch the back of the shoulders. Sit tall in your seat. Feel the waist lengthen. You can look up towards the ceiling and slightly extend the back. And then the reverse, let's round. Bring the elbows in towards the belly button. Curl through the upper back. Back to center. Stretch the arms out, open inhale. Exhale, bring it back, other side, left arm underneath right. Wrap. Reach the arms up. Stretch up, lift tall in the seat, and then look up to the ceiling. Round the elbows in, stretch out the upper back. And then come back to center, release the arms out, inhale. Exhale, bring them back. Hold underneath the thighs, take the legs out, and just bring yourself to the top half of your mat. Reaching the arms out, you know where we're going. Do it all the time. Squeeze the knees together, pull the belly button in, and roll down very, very carefully. One section of the spine at a time. Taking you another 3, 2, 1, to the floor. Interlace the hands behind the back of the head so the elbows are nice and open. Extend the right leg out. Bring the left knee into tabletop position. Gonna inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist. Take the left elbow to the right knee. And upper body back down, right knee stays where it is. Inhale, lift and twist. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, lift and twist. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, lift and twist. Exhale, back and down. Extend the right leg away. Bring the left knee in. Inhale, lift and twist. Right elbow, left knee. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, lift and twist. Exhale, back and down. 2 more, lift and twist. Back and down. Lift and twist. Back and down. Bring the right knee in to join the left knee. Take the arms, point them towards the ankles so your knees are still together in tabletop. Fingertips are reaching for the ankles, and then reach the upper body up off the floor so you're curling up through the upper abdominals, stretching the arms away. We're just going to hold it here for 10. Pull the belly button in for 9. Squeeze the knees, 8. Reach through the fingers, 7. Lift higher, 6. 5. More reach, 4. 3. Should be feeling it, 2. And 1. Rest down, hug the knees in. Give yourself a rock from side to side. And then we'll do a nice big opening through the front of the belly and the thighs. So place your feet down, push your hands into the floor, little magnetizing through the front and the back of the body. Lift your hips up, push down into the feet, lift your hips nice and high. Make sure that big toe is driving down into the floor. Your heels are pushing down. Squeeze up through the glutes. Feel the work in the backs of the legs. We'll hold it up here for 5, 4, keep breathing, 3, 2, 1. Roll it down, slowly massaging the spine to the floor, one vertebrae at a time. Left leg extends, right knee comes into the chest. Bring that right knee all the way in, right arm out to the side. Pull that right knee across the body, over to the left. Big stretch through the spine, through the outside of the right hip, through the right shoulder. See how much of that right arm you can keep down to the floor. Close the eyes here and steady the breath. Back to center. Give that right knee a hug in. And then stretch that right leg way far down to the bottom of the mat. Bring the left leg in. Nice big squeeze. Left arm out to the side. Left knee pulls across the body over to the right. Big twist. Inhale. And exhale. My back just clicked so loudly then. I'll be very surprised if you didn't hear it. Settle that left shoulder down. Move that left knee closer to the ground. Notice the breath in the chest, in the body, in and assisting that twist. Come back to center. Give your left knee a hug in and then stretch the left leg out long. Take the arms out by the side. We'll do this 3 times. So on an inhale breath, we'll clench the fists, we'll squeeze all the muscles, especially the glutes, so you feel like you're slightly lifting off the floor. And then when we exhale, we release everything. So we'll go together. Big inhale breath, clench the wrists, squeeze the glutes, frown through the face. Exhale, release. 2 more. Big squeeze. And release. Final one. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips, and then release. Lying comfortably into the ground, settling into your mat, into that space you've put aside to practice this evening. Noticing how you feel compared to when we first met on the mat. How your body reacts, how comfortable you feel in this space, how heavy the back of the body is, because it's so relaxed, so trusting. It's free of the tension and the worries that we're resisting being let go. And pretty much, I'm sure, every time you come to the end of the practice and you ask yourself how you feel, the answer is always a little better for the practice. So you can give yourself this kind of mini pat on the shoulder for turning up, for practicing, for committing the time, putting the time aside. And especially, I think, the live classes can hold us accountable. It's easier than thinking, oh, well, I've done 20 minutes, I've done 15 minutes. Kind of feel like we're obliged to stay till the end, so just be grateful that you got in a nice long practice this evening. Bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big hug, big wrap round, reaching the arms around, squeezing in, and then rocking up. Crossing the legs, sitting nice and tall, hands down on the knees, grounding through the palms, lifting tall through the spine. Noticing if you feel a little bit taller, more proud through the chest, more extension through the back, less compression into the side of the waist, less slump. Bring the hands into prayer heart center. Bow the chin to the chest. Just thank yourself for this evening. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.